How's it going, YouTube? This is Skul, and this is a very exciting day for me. I am recording this on Wednesday, May 8th, 2024, and 10 years ago today, on May 8th, 2014, I uploaded this video to YouTube. And I didn't know it at the time, but this would become not only my most viewed YouTube video, but would also be the video that would help to make YouTube my full-time job. So a little bit of a backstory to this video. I actually started this YouTube channel in late 2012. At the time that I started it, this actually wasn't even my first YouTube channel, but it was the one that I decided to focus most of my time on. This started out as a Pokemon trading card game channel. I had seen quite a few other PokeTubers who focus entirely on opening up card packs and doing trades and collections and stuff like that on YouTube in the late 2000s and early 2010s, and I thought, hey, that looks like fun. So in late 2012, I started this channel to focus entirely on that. At the time, I was a newlywed college student who didn't really have an idea of what I wanted to focus on in college. When I finally got around to making this particular video, it was supposed to be my senior year, and yet I only had enough credits to count for 2 years worth of college, and even then only if I wanted to do a general studies major, not anything in particular. I was going to college for journalism when all was said and done, but in the end I never did graduate, and I'll explain why in a second. Throughout 2012 and most of 2013, my channel didn't really do well, but that was kind of to be expected. Most of my videos only got a few dozen views, maybe 100 or 200 views if I was lucky, but none of them ever really took off. And that was perfectly fine with me because I was doing YouTube as a hobby at the time. I had a full-time job, I was a full-time college student. Those were always way more important than YouTube ever could have been, and I never had an idea, I never had a dream that it could become a full-time thing at the time. In late 2013, the set Legendary Treasures released, and my wife bought a Legendary Treasures booster box. And this was like on release day or the day before, the day after, I don't remember exactly, it was somewhere around there. And this was at a time when getting products on time for the TCG was kind of uncommon. It was pretty common for you to not get a box until a day or two after, and then most people on YouTube wouldn't even upload videos until a day or two after they had posted it. It was a very different time than it is now, when you had 1,000 channels all competing to be the first one to show off the rarest card in a set. Back then, it was no man's land for that kind of a thing. Not to mention, there were not that many ultra rare cards that people really wanted to see other people pull. But Legendary Treasures introduced 2 gold cards, Reshiram and Zekrom. And lo and behold, from my wife's Legendary Treasure box, she pulled a gold Reshiram. And that video did bonkers numbers. Like within a week, it got 1,000 views, which was the first time any of my videos had ever gotten 1,000 views. And by the end of the month, it had gotten over 10,000, 20,000 views. I forget what the numbers are, but it did really well. That wasn't enough to make my channel really take off, mind you, but it was enough, I think, to make people turn their heads and be like, hey, this guy opened up, or at least his wife, this channel opened up a box and they got the rarest card from the box. Maybe they'll get something from the next set. Well, the next set was X and Y base, and we didn't get anything from that box, but Flashfire, the one with all of the rare Charizard cards, including a secret rare Mega Charizard, that was where we got our hit. Watching the video now, it's actually kind of surreal to look at because it was filmed in the kitchen of my apartment at the college. Nowadays, that's about 5-7 miles away from where I live right here in this apartment, but yeah, it's kind of crazy to look back on that video and remember that was a completely different time that I lived in. That was a time when I wasn't focused on Pokemon cards. Pokemon cards were a hobby. YouTube was a hobby. But that video did really well. In less than a year, that video got 1 million views. And then only 6 or 7 months after that, it got up to 2 million views. And then a few months after that, it got up to 3 million and then 4 million. Like, this video did so well over the span of like a 3 or 4 year period. It was actually kind of insane. For most of my YouTube career, up until just a few years ago, this video, day after day, was my most viewed video every single day. Even when I got videos that hit like 50,000 views in a single day, sometimes this video continued to do better than even that. It was absolutely wild. And for most of the 2010s, this was actually not only the most viewed Pokemon booster box opening on YouTube, it was the single most viewed trading card game video of any kind on the internet. It was actually kind of insane. That's no longer the case now, of course, because of the changing landscape of YouTube and the internet in general, but it's kind of crazy that for a solid 5 or 6 years, my Flashfire box was actually the most viewed trading card game video on the internet, and it still gets views to this day. It did so well in its first few months that it actually gave me a huge boost in subscribers, as you can imagine. This was at a time when subscriber count was a lot more important than it is today. Nowadays, it feels more like just an arbitrary number than an actual indication of how good a channel is or how well it's doing. But back then, subscribers were everything. The algorithm recommended videos from higher subscriber channels back then. So the more subscribers I got in just a few months, the more the algorithm pushed not only that video, but all of my videos. And after a while, I was known as one of the biggest Pokemon trading card game YouTubers on the internet. By the end of that year, I had basically looked at my YouTube channel and realized if I had stopped making it my hobby and started making it my full-time job, I would be able to earn more money than my actual full-time job. And since I still didn't know at that point what I wanted to do for a college degree, it would be probably best for me to put college on the back burner so I could focus on the thing that was making me money. And hopefully by the time that stopped, I could figure out what I wanted to do for a degree and go back to college. I still don't know what I want to do when I grow up. Even right now, I still don't know. At the start of 2015, I started making YouTube my full-time job. I was uploading videos constantly, every single day it felt like for a lot of it, or at least a few times a week. And it paid off. My channel grew and grew and grew, and by the end of 2015, I had 100,000 subscribers. I consider 2015 to be my peak on YouTube, not because that's when I got the most views, but because it felt like when I was the most relevant, and when I felt like I was most in control on my channel and knew most of what I was doing. At the end of 2015, I attended the Pokemon World Championships in Boston, and it was so surreal for me to attend that and not only have a lot of people recognize me who I had no idea who they were, but for me to hang out with other PokeTubers who I had idolized for years, and they not only recognized me, but saw me as their equal. 2016 treated my channel pretty well as well. That's when I transitioned from doing Pokemon to doing a little bit of everything, and that's also when I started doing my Splatoon videos, which of course was like a second breath of life into my channel that it really needed when the Pokemon trading card game stopped being fun for me. I had tried to attend the Pokemon World Championships in 2016 in San Francisco, but the Pokemon Company really screwed that event up and made it almost impossible for anyone to get in who wasn't a competitor. So it left a sour taste in my mouth. And at the time, cards just started, like sets came out with 200, 300 cards per set instead of just 100, 150. And there were dozens, if not hundreds, of ultra rares in every single set. And at that point, it just became so not fun for me to collect the trading card game. I just gave it up in late 2016, early 2017. That explains why, even though this video has over 6 million views, and even though a lot of the cards in this video are worth a lot of money these days, I do not own any of them anymore. Actually, that's not true. I kept all my Helioptile cards, so some of them in that video, this microphone is not making it easy. So some of these Helioptile cards are the ones that I pulled in that video. Not many of them, obviously. I think I have like 1,000 Helioptile cards between this and another binder. I like Helioptile, okay? I never got rid of my Helioptile cards. But I did get rid of pretty much the rest of my collection. I think I only kept maybe a dozen cards total, something like that, that weren't my Helioptile collection. I just lost interest in collecting the Pokemon trading card game. Just completely took the fun out of it. And I don't know how many of you have ever experienced this, and I hope most of you never will, when there's something that you're really passionate about, and then one day the passion just goes away, to the point where you don't even want to think about it anymore. To me, getting rid of my collection was easier than holding on to it, hoping to make a bigger profit later. It was just like, I want to get rid of my cards. I don't care how little I get out of them. I just don't care anymore. 2017 is when Splatoon 2 came out as well, and it really felt like that's when my channel began to decline. Like 2017, I think, is when I hit 250,000 subscribers. 2017 or 2018, but you'll notice I have less than that now. There's a lot of reasons for that, obviously, and I don't want to go into all of them because that's not what this video is about. But I read somewhere that the average length of a successful YouTube channel is about 7 years, and looking back on my channel, that's about right. Because even though it started in 2012, and even though I'm still making videos right now, 14 years later, there was about a 7-year period where it was actually what I consider relevant. Starting with 2014 with this Flashfire video, and going into about 2021, that sounds about right to me. That 7 years was when I would consider my YouTube channel relevant, when I would consider it successful. Before that, it was a hobby. Nowadays, it's a hobby. My channel is mega dead, guys. Come on. I'm not blind. I see the numbers. I don't care. YouTube is still fun to me. It's still a hobby. I'm not pouring my entire effort into it like I used to. I have a lot of other things that I can pull money from now, so it's not a job. But it is still fun. And when I look back on my Flashfire box opening, I am taken back to that time in my life 10 years ago, when it was a lot simpler and really exciting to be able to just shoot a video that's half an hour long of me just opening up Pokemon cards and not only having fun with it, but being able to find an audience who thought that was just as interesting as me. I still have Zippy, by the way. It's hard to believe that she's over 10 years old now as well. I don't show her off in videos as much anymore because there's not much of a reason to. She is my channel mascot, but you know, it gets a little cliche, I guess, having a stuffed animal in every single video. I didn't know it at the time, but this Flashfire booster box video would help to give me a career that I never expected could ever actually happen. I'm very lucky and blessed to have had this job for the last 10 years. So to everyone who has watched that video or any of my videos since, including this one, I cannot thank you enough. This has been an incredible journey for me, and it couldn't have been possible without all of you. So here's to 10 years for my most watched YouTube video of all time, and here's to the next 10 years. Who knows what's going to happen? Maybe my channel will see a rebound, although I'm not planning on it. All I know is that I love making videos, and I'm very happy that there's at least a few people still who are interested in watching them. I even still do Pokemon trading card game videos every once in a while. I'm trying to get a living Pokédex of Pokemon cards. I have hit the halfway point of that, and it's a whole lot of fun, so maybe that's something you might be interested in. Or maybe not. Maybe you're watching this video wondering, Skul, when are you going back to Splatoon? Soon, my friends. Soon. That does it for now. Thanks everyone so much for watching now and over the last decade and in the next decade to come. Zippy, what did you think of that Flashfire box opening? Yeah, that's what I thought. It's her favorite because she's the star. Thanks everyone for watching, and stay tuned for more.